do a backflip. Trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. Or crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop, grab a can, curb, and think about the good times.
Welcome everybody. Denise, do you want to welcome us into the show tonight?
Sure. So we have another great episode of Can on the Curb.
Episode 4 or 5.
Yeah, and joining us tonight is me, myself, Dee. We've got Dunks over here, the one and only Teensy Quibus.
Are we?
And we've got Ray. And we also have the lovely Cat joining us tonight.
Hey,
So
hey.
the whole gang is here.
The whole gang, it's good to be reunited again.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long,
A
long time.
whole week.
A whole
Whole
week.
week.
A whole busy week.
Yeah.
So, what's the topic?
So, I mean, we can do the topic of, what is it, culture
Culture
shock?
shocks,
Yeah.
which
Culture
is
shocks. Ray brought up a really good intro for this video this week. It's first time using a long drop porta potty fucking...
Yeah, so when's the first time you used the squatty potty?
The squatty potty, that's
Because
his name.
for those who don't know, in China, a lot of the traditional toilets, like the Western style sit down toilet, doesn't really exist. So a lot of the traditional toilets they have are just like kind of holes in the ground with like kind of porcelain covering. So you have to squat over the hole.
There you can check it
Yeah,
out.
and
It's beautiful.
sometimes there's
Yeah,
not
right there
even
on the
really
screen.
porcelain underneath the hole. You can literally just see
Go to that
straight
photo,
into
Ben.
like the drain pipe, which is a bit unnerving.
Not that type.
Oh, I saw that this
Dude, I see
You
this
know-
all the time, bro. Because we first see signs where it's like, don't stand
Yeah.
on the toilet, and
Yeah.
I didn't expect it.
I literally saw a kid doing that.
you're like, who would do that? And then you realize, oh, it's a real thing that people are doing.
Yeah, on Western toilet.
Yeah, like the one time I was in the mall, it was like our
Yes,
first year in China. I went into a shopping mall, and thank goodness there was a Western toilet, so I ducked in there. And then as I closed the door, there was this sign on the back of the door with a little picture of the stick figure squatting on the toilet, and it's like, don't stand on the toilet. I'm like, who does that? So I literally took a picture of it and sent it to my parents back in South Africa, because it's the first time I saw that you have to put a sign up for
Yeah.
something like that.
Look, dude, your balance must be incredible to balance on a Western
Your
toilet.
calves.
Like that. Your calves.
Yeah.
Your Achilles heel.
For
You got some
everything.
strength.
Because even doing the actual squat is also different than your normal gym squat. Like,
Oh, no, yes.
it's not the same
Because
thing.
you have to go deep down and keep your heels
It's
like
on the ground.
completely planted flat. I can't do it.
It's more like
I
a
can't
yoga
keep my-
squat.
It is like
It's like a yoga, so you have to like get into
I have to do
position.
like when I get a squatty potty. When I use a squatty potty, which is rarely, I have to still like do like I'm doing like the Spider-Man pose kind of like they got one hand back to balance, the other hand like it's not doing this, but it is holding the wall
And then
here,
your shin, bro.
kind of back and but just making it like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's a war of attrition.
It is a war of attrition.
Well, at least hopefully you don't take off all your clothes like somebody. I
No,
know.
look, dude, I had to take off my entire bottom half comes off, bro. Because
Only my shoes.
if
My shoes and my socks.
I'm not shitting in my fucking pants, bro.
Well, you know,
There's a
it
huge
really-
possibility of it happening.
Yeah, I got a weird ass.
It really makes sense
And-
why they don't wear their shoes inside, because you see how much piss there is all over the floor in these squatting
Fucking hell.
toilets, which is on your shoes, and you're like, yeah, okay, now I get why shoes don't go inside the
And then
house.
again, we're from Africa, you're basically walking in piss the whole time.
We've got a special
Yeah.
person. I won't mention his name, but he sits on the squatty potty.
No, how do you
Yeah.
even?
Full on sit.
Full on sits on
But
it,
it's
bro.
wet.
Mhm.
Most of
Hey.
the time it's wet.
Not even about the wetness. I'll have a prolapsed arse.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Well, his logic is if you go into Rich Cat's the bar early and it's still clean, but you don't sit on the toilet late
Rich
when people have been pissing all over him.
Mm,
Yeah.
no, that's no.
But yeah, do you guys remember the first time you used a squatty toilet?
Very much so,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe we did before we came to China, but
I've never used one.
I don't know. I must say, like in other parts of Asia, you use the spray gun,
Ooh.
which at first people are like, oh, you know, it's a little bit weird, but that thing is a game changer.
What's that?
Oh,
The
the Thailand.
spray
bum
gun,
gun,
the
right?
bum
I
gun.
love it.
The
Bum gun
the
is
future,
so
yeah.
great. So when we got to China, and I was like, wait, where's the bum gun? why don't they have a bum gun?
The bum gun's effective. bro.
Yeah.
That thing is Yeah, that thing is great.
Get in there, yeah.
I mean, especially as a woman. That
Well,
thing
no,
is
as a man as well, trust me.
yeah.
It's fun.
It's
We get stimulated in different
Fun
areas.
But I know, like, the big mall over at Shopping Park has the toilets with the bidet. You know, the one with the buttons that you push on the side and you heat the
Yeah.
seats and,
With
like,
the
like
Japanese
fancy
toilets.
Japanese
yeah, the
smart
fancy
toilet.
toilets.
Japanese ones, yeah.
I like those
They
toilets,
have them.
bro.
When we first got to China, we stayed in a hotel that had one of those. Like our first week.
Excited for you.
So you thought that was
We were like, oh, this is
I knew
nice.
it wasn't the norm. I mean, like the first time I guess I've used a long drop, it wasn't like this, like we see here. I mean, when you go to like game reserves and stuff, especially like in the Kalahari, there's a seat with a hole in it,
Yeah,
and then there's a bucket at the bottom that you should,
yeah.
but you can still sit down.
Yeah.
So it's actually very comfortable. It's just about getting used to it because you're like, are there fucking spiders in the corners? Are there snakes in
Yeah.
there? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah.
I was terrified to use a long drop when I was a kid because I was like, there's definitely scorpions and spiders and
Something,
snakes
yeah.
and things in there. Like something's going to come out and bite my bum.
Oh, there's something in there, that's a fact.
Yeah, you got to fight
Yeah.
off the flies to get in there. Man.
Oh, yeah. Those big ones.
So yeah, the big ones. I'm always reminded of the Scary Movie 2 scene where the priest is blessing the house with this shit, bro. All the flies are gathering around. It's like one of those, bro. But yeah,
We're going to start off with the first experience.
Ray's got a goodie, dude.
What's your
He's got a goodie.
So mine was, I had been in China for a couple months, and I was working at a training center in a mall, a very famous language training center, a very big one, whose name I shall not mention now. But I was at work, I was massively hungover from the night before. I got into work, I taught like my first half of a lesson, because it was a 2-hour lesson. I had a 10-minute break in between, and like, it was just one of those things, like, after the first 30 minutes of the lesson, I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, like, I gotta shit. And it's just one of those, like, you know you're holding it to a point where you can only hold it, and then it's like, okay, you have 10-minute break. This mall has one sit-down toilet on the first floor. It is 10 a.m. It is probably going to be used by a guy who's sitting there having a smoke break from his job. Is it worth risking it for that? Because if you risk it, like, probably going to shit your pants, have to go home.
It's a good way
So
to
it's
go
like,
home, bro.
so I'm not willing to roll those dice, so I have to go use the squatty potty that's next to the place I'm working, and just had to go in massively hungover and like try and hold myself up. And this was a long stall, so this was a bit rough one. Like, luckily they had like this weird, sometimes they have like that weird like side handrail.
Mm-hmm.
They had that there that I was able to hold on to, but it was a rough one, mate, because it was too long. You can't do the Spider-Man pose, like, if the walls are too far away.
Your legs
So
are
it's just
giving
like
out, bro.
one hand there and one hand on this like little plastic side handle you have, and you're hoping to God that doesn't give at all.
Yeah, Jesus.
freestyling it.
I mean, I know exactly what your legs were going through that day, bro. It's not a nice experience. It's kind of like
Yeah,
those ones, but you only have the one hand
Yeah.
right then, bro.
Yeah, usually
You
one.
only had the one hand railing. It was not metal, it was plaid.
Two would be heaven.
When I
The two I would
first,
be like doing
Two.
dips.
Yeah.
when I first used one of those, bro,
I'd be hanging
I did
in
it sideways, bro. So I didn't like go over it like you're supposed to. I held on the rail with my hands like that, and I shut sideways. Bro. It
That's
was
actually
good, dude. It gave me a lot more support than the other
Yeah,
ones,
a good
bro.
idea.
You gotta be inventive here, bro. You know?
You
As long
gotta.
as it goes into the ship part, and even if it doesn't sometimes, okay, bro. As long as it's there, bro.
Oh, that's the worst part. Like, just missing the hole and it landing on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the bum gun was
Yes.
also effective, because you could spray it away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, you don't
Now
have
you
to
gotta
use the
wipe it
brush.
with porcelain.
Ooh.
Hey, bro.
That's-
Get that smudge going.
I gotta get that nice brown smear all the way across.
Yeah,
Sometimes you just gotta leave it and look at the person after you and be like, it wasn't me, though.
I will say though, the squatty potty is effective in the fact that, like, sorry if this is TMI, but like when you go, it's not like a Western toilet where you're kind of sitting there, you're relaxing. So sometimes, it takes a bit of time. No, it's shotgun blast.
Yeah.
It's just in and it like it's like a fucking
Yeah, it just drops out.
yeah. It's like it's buckshot. Like it's in and out.
Well, it's the ideal position. I mean,
It's the natural
Gravity is
position.
just
Yeah.
doing its thing.
yeah. But I mean, gosh, when it's not coming out fast
Oh,
and your legs are buckling,
Mhm.
but you're like mid shit and you can't stand up, you can't move, you just gotta keep pushing through the burn and be like,
Yeah.
come
You
on.
start getting like that
The
sweat
sweat
and
sweat
the
dripping
blood
down from like the top of your head and like
It's not the
And if
meat
you're a
sweats,
man,
bro.
your nutsack just begins vibrating. Like,
Like, please, just let it be over.
That reminds me of the first time I took a shit. I mean, I'll never forget it because my legs did buckle and I stood up.
Or
From when you stand up, then your butt cheeks go together.
Yeah.
You got to wipe from the sides, bro. Each of
Yeah.
the sides. You're like, what's going on here? What is this? It's not. It's and it's always a fucking wipey shit, bro. When you
It's
take a long,
always-
it's always a sticky bastard.
I mean,
bro. You gotta
this-
wipe him a few times.
One of those permanent markers.
Yeah,
It just doesn't
It
end.
never ends, bro. Yeah. And if you wipe it too hard, Hemi starts getting aggravated, bro, and you're like, fuck.
My very first time, I went about 2 years not taking a shit in any public facility
Not too good.
for the fact that it's just those
That's a
squatty
solid one.
squatters, yeah.
2 years.
That's a good
mate,
run,
and then
dude, yeah.
I started at my second school, and yeah, like I can't remember what happened, but I had a cramp, dude. I had a cramp. I was just at my desk, and I had a vicious cramp. I was like, it's now or never. I'm gonna shit my pants.
Mhm.
So I had to, and then I was so afraid because all the doors on there didn't have locks on because the kids was smoke. You know, they would smoke in the fucking stores.
For sure.
So it took all the locks off.
It's
I was
that
so
picture you've seen there,
afraid
bro.
of somebody coming in there,
And chicken.
checking me at like my most vulnerable moment, like doing the Spidey Man and like, you know, just ass open. So I went to the upper story because there was like 5 floors. It was a massive school. I went up there. There was nobody there, and I just had a minging stall. Like I couldn't choose a good one because it was just shits everywhere. But I had to go, and yeah, I did a full Spider-Man spread as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
Yeah, planted my feet like flat-footed. Luckily for that, and I think I missed it a little bit the first time. I missed it a little bit.
Aim is not quite natural, bro.
Yeah.
No, you have to go. The thing is, with the first, like, at least for me, the first time I used the squatty potty, and it took a few times for me to realize this, you have to lean your ass back farther than you
Yeah.
think. Because you're so used to, like, the normal, like, sit down toilet that you're like, oh, I don't really need to lean the
You need to
ass.
aim, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta point your ass back, man. It's
Or
gotta
you need
go.
to step like or sit
little bit,
more to
yeah,
the
yeah.
front
Yeah.
end of it so
Yeah.
that your bum is literally like over.
Gotta
the
go
bottom.
over your knees almost.
Yeah.
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 Talking about your vulnerability with the shit. The second time I took a shit because we were in Thailand, I was in the public toilet in the fucking on the beach, bro.
No.
And it's literally just like 5 long drops or 5 fucking squatty potties in a row, bro. Walking there, taking a shit. I'm like, I hope no one comes in here, bro. 3 oaks coming there, bro. All fucking taking a dump on our phones together, bro.
The
And I've never-
bonding.
Dude, it wasn't money. I just like my asshole like literally just went up
Sucked
inside of
everything
itself. So I just had to squat there, being like,
Oh,
this is
awful.
fucking horrendous, bro. It smells like rice, bro. It's quite a smell that comes
Sour.
sour, dude. Sour. Vegetables and rice, dude. And I was like, sick. Okay, well, I'll just have to squat you until the oaks leave. And then, thank goodness, I just diarrhea shat all over everything.
That's literally in line with a couple of nightmares I've had before.
Yeah, this is my nightmare.
Bro.
I mean, it's like
No door.
the no door. This is like his and
Everybody's
her.
watching you take a shit.
Bro, being in an all boys school, you get used to things, bro.
I'm not shitting though, that's my time.
I've seen countless
Yeah,
people taking a dump, fucking penises, people doing shit you don't want to see, bro. That's just, you just get used to it.
No, full nudity, that's
Yeah.
fine. The dumping in public, that's a line. That's a
Yeah,
line
that's
too
right.
That's
far.
very personal.
I must say, when you travel, you kind of have to let go of your boundaries a bit when
Yeah,
it comes
you do.
to where to relieve yourself, because sometimes you're just like, good lord.
To shove.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a choice right
Sometimes
now.
you're hungover and you're just desperate, bro.
I need a hole to
Talking about
excrete
culture
in.
shock and shit. The first time you see a granny hold a baby above a fucking dustbin in a mall.
Never
Take a
seen
shit.
that,
That's what happened to me.
bro. To take a shit
Yeah.
in the dustbin.
Yeah.
In a mall.
I mean, if
I've
you need to do that, you need to do it, bro. I mean, it's a kid. At
I mean,
least,
there's a toilet just around the corner.
at least it wasn't the granny taking the shit while the kids
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, but I mean, still,
He's like
there's-
lifting herself up.
There's-
Chilling.
I also used to work at a training center, and it was in a shopping mall. So I was on my way to work, and I was on the escalators going up, and there's the dustbin right at the top of the escalator, right? But like 100 meters from that, if that far, is the bathroom.
Mm.
And this, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but The kids over here wear those onesies without the bum.
With a flap.
Like,
Oh, I've
no,
checked
not
that.
even the flap. It's just like an open bum, right?
I've only checked the flap. I've never seen.
No, they
the
literally have onesies where the whole bum is open. Like, it's a whole.
for the lighties.
That's
all of
convenient.
them.
Okay.
Boys, girls, all of them have just like an open bum.
I need to be looking around more, bro.
And then sometimes they don't give the kids diapers. So you just see a little toddler walking around, bum hanging out.
yeah, ready for a
That's what I call
shit.
prison way.
But anyway,
Freedom, bro.
so now there's this granny literally holding the kid over the dustbin, and he's got one of these onesies with no bum,
One of those.
Yeah.
kinda, just without the flap.
Yeah.
Those are attractive
I'm okay
movies.
with
that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one
The
too.
granny is literally just holding this little boy over the dustbin for him to take a crap in it,
Yeah.
while the toilet is literally just like 100 meters away.
Look, to be fair, bro, I'd rather them doing it in a dustbin because I've seen countless adults shitting in like shopping centers and like grocery stores where they'll just like pop a quick diarrhea crap, put it up
You've
and walk
seen
away.
countless?
Yeah, well, online, not per like I haven't seen with my own eyes, bro.
Yeah,
But
so
going
you
through
were
like
in rough
YouTube shorts and
areas.
stuff. No, luckily I've never seen it.
No, I have.
person doing it.
My first year in China, I was in a more rural part of the city we're in, and I did see one guy once like going home at like 3 a.m. and there's just a guy like squat in the road.
Taking a dump.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Sometimes you
I mean, I guess he had like
Desperate
better
times.
than his pants.
No,
like,
exactly,
Desperate time to
man.
call for desperate measures.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not judging him. I'm just saying like.
I felt like that before. I felt like I'm gonna shit right here, right
I've also been there in the middle of the train station,
yeah,
holding onto the pillar for
Not too long
dear
ago.
not
life.
too long ago.
Not too long ago, having an absolute cold sweat.
Mate,
Being like,
coconut latte.
Please, dear God, please.
It is the lattes, bro, because she did coffee in hers.
Yeah.
Literal diarrhea, bro.
Luckin's coconut
Instant.
latte in
Ew.
the middle of the city centre.
I love that one,
literally
eh?
gonna shit on the sun.
You literally just said the word that I'm surprised hasn't stimulated me now, bro.
Maybe it's kind of been a little bit of they slipped some laxative in there, you know.
No, I just think it's like a strong coffee with dairy. So like Catherine's a slightly lactose intolerant, same as mine.
Oh,
so-
he, not
I know.
slightly.
He's full on.
Martin's full on.
I drink milk like at least. I'm just sensitive to like really creamy,
Martin
rich.
is bad.
thing.
Like cheese on pizza,
I'm so ready to test this one day,
milkshakes,
bro.
I
ice
still
cream.
do it, man.
Dude, when we go on holiday, I'm gonna just get us like 8 milkshakes. We're just gonna do it. And
Oh, yeah, I do it.
Yeah,
I just shit everywhere.
nice, man. We'll go to the beach as well. So
We have a little
Yes,
trail
man.
behind
I'll
us.
shit. I have
Yeah, it's
no
like
problem
a
shitting in
slug,
the
just like
No,
a
it's just, yeah.
liquidy trail behind him.
When you're swimming in a lake and you see a brown snake. So,
Nah, it's like explosive diarrhea.
I'm excited to test this.
What I found wild
One day
is
we'll go
how
to
much
Thailand.
vomit is always.
Oh, dude,
on
there's
those
just vomit
streets.
everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, outside of our apartment, that walkway is constantly. You have to watch where you're walking because this is like, there's always a fresh
Now,
splatter.
talking about another culture shock, our first year in China, we lived in this small apartment in like one of these community buildings. So obviously there's like, 50 apartments on one floor or something? So it's really crammed. So the one morning, well, it first started with like late at night. I heard like our neighbor coming in drunk, right? Because it's so quiet and you could just literally hear
Thin walls
everything.
as well,
Yeah,
yeah.
like thin walls. So I heard our Chinese neighbor across the hall coming in drunk. And like him and his buddy were really loud and they were falling against the walls and knocking on doors and all of that. And the next morning we were leaving for work and I was like on my phone. And as I was on my phone, I luckily looked down and this guy literally just vomited in front of our door.
Oh, lovely.
And not just a little bit, like the whole floor was splashed with vomit. Like this
Ugh.
red wine kind of vomit.
Yummy. Man.
So, I mean, the only thing you could really do is like take a picture and send it to management and like
Yeah.
tell them, please send somebody to clean up. Like this wasn't me. Somebody vomited here. But I mean,
Ugh.
like, what the hell? If I was in that situation, I would kind of feel very shitty.
I'll
about
clean it
or
up.
try to clean
I'll
it
clean
up.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're vomiting in front of somebody else's apartment. I mean,
I vomited on myself once, and I caught it like this in my hands.
See, that's
And my friend came. His name was Francois, and as I was dripping over my hands, he picked it up from the carpet. Picked it up and carried it to the
Oh,
dustbin.
no.
Wow,
That's
what a gem.
amazing.
Oh, no.
And he was just falling over himself because he was so belligerent as well. He was just falling over himself. I'm like, I can't keep it all. He's like, don't worry, man. I'm here for you. He just scooped it up.
Oh,
Francois, one day I'll see this. What a boy.
Yeah.
what a homie.
What a homie.
He's a mechanic, my bro.
Oh my God.
They used to
and who's
things
the
on
guy
their hands,
that vomited in the ashtray?
Oh, no, I won't mention his name, though.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, so professional. Dude. He vomited in the ashtray and he didn't spill a drop.
What
And the
a
next
beast.
morning it was just like in a little pyramid.
Oh, no.
Like, and
What
the
a
next morning
beast,
he
man.
told us, like, he didn't vomit in the ashtray, he vomited in his hand and just packed it in the ashtray. Because he couldn't get up to go to the bathroom, he was too drunk. Just packed it all up.
What a beast, man.
Yeah. And then I'm like, what about your hands? He's like, it's fine. I'm like, Jesus.
So where'd you wipe those
Do
things,
it.
bro? Yeah.
And everything around him was clean. There's just this neat little
Vomit pile.
vomit pile in the ashtray. And I literally just, because I was like, oh, shame. And the poor guy just took it. Boop, and the ashtray was clean. I'm like,
Oh
There's
my
a solid
gosh.
this guy is a perfectionist.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a
No
professional.
liquid. No
Yeah,
liquids.
professional.
Just solids, man. But I guess the one thing, like you were talking about, one of the biggest culture shocks is like people don't really care too much about other people's space.
Yeah, they're not very considerate.
No, like when
There's
it comes
not
to
like a private
sounds,
space.
there's
here.
no private space.
It's
yeah.
all community
Yeah.
shared. Is kind of
It's like anything goes kind of.
unless it's your actual house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then anything.
Anything goes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all shared.
Oaks will spit
People
by
be
your feet
smoking
and
in the elevator.
Yeah, people smoking in elevators. People
All the time.
Speaking of private things, why don't you tell us about your experience in the bathhouse?
Well, jeez. So straight on the bus. Which time in Korea or in China?
Well,
I'll talk
we can
about
start
the
with
China
Korea. Okay.
One. I'll talk about
Go
the
with
China,
China.
one. I mean, I'll get them both in one, bro. So the one thing, I mean, it's just not a thing in South Africa. Is it a thing in America, bathhouses?
No, not at all. The first time I did one was when we recently went to Japan, and then we
Okay.
did one in China after that.
So it's more of an Asian thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know they do it in like Russia because we see it in some of the movies that they do.
Mm.
I know in Japan you get the famous like gangsters in the bathhouses. But the only two times I've ever been to a bathhouse is with a UK guy, different UK guys. But it's somehow the UK guys are attracted to these bathhouses. So where were we at? We were in Itaewon, hey, when we went to the bath.
We were in, yeah, maybe. We were somewhere in Seoul.
Fucking hell, bro! I'll never forget going to this bathhouse because we literally had to climb up like 1,000 steps to get there. And
Yeah.
I was like literally retarded, bro, drunk. So I shouldn't use that word. I was not mentally alright.
It looked
I was so
just
drunk,
like
bro.
this.
And climb up these stairs. I'll never forget it because you just go into this like wooden box of a room. There's like a shitty bed that you sleep on. So I decided to sleep naked, and when we woke up in the morning, the door was open.
Our
So I
door was
like,
open.
someone come past here to just say how's it to us, but no, our friends were dorsing, so someone came to just look at me.
It was
lying
so
naked on the
hot
bed.
as well.
Fun
It was a
times.
bit of a thing, dude. So eventually we go down into the bathhouse area. So obviously boys and girls are separated.
Yeah.
So I go there, and the first experience was different to the second one. So the first time they were like, take off your clothes. I took off my clothes and I put them next to the door because you're not allowed to take them into the bathhouse. So I put them at the door, and the first thing in both experiences is no one's looking at you as a foreigner. They're only looking at one thing. They're looking at your dick, bro. As soon as you walk into the bathhouse, you watch everybody's eyes just go like this. Drop
Yeah.
straight to your penis, bro. That's what they're looking at. That's what they want to see. So the first time we went to the bathhouse in Korea, it was pretty cool. I mean, obviously everyone was looking at me. But what I found a little bit strange is like how comfortable other men are with each other. They're like bathing each other, scrubbing their backs,
Yeah.
doing like, I guess, things that I would find a little bit different, you know. So anyway, I was like, okay, sick, you know, let me just go back because I'm tired of looking at bushes because you see a lot of bush. Not too many penises, just a lot of bush, you know. So I was like, okay, time to go back. So then I'm looking for my clothes. Can't find my clothes. Absolutely, they're just gone. So I walk around the bathhouse, can't find my clothes. I'm fully naked. So now I'm outside of the bathhouse, still fully naked, still trying to find my clothes. Can't find them. So I go to reception and I'm like, naked, which the street's right there. So I'm like, what happened to my clothes? And they're like, no, we'll call the cleaner, go back to the bathhouse, and fucking go back to the bathhouse. There's just people coming in now to the bathhouse, men and women. I'm there, I'm just like fully naked. It was just like this. This is in Korea. Hold it like this, being like, okay. So eventually I go there and I find the janitor and he's like, no, I threw them away. So he pulls them out of the bin.
Like,
I'm
why?
Why would you throw the fucking clothes away? It's like, there were no clothes in the bathhouse. I was like, I get that. They were next to the door, not in the bathhouse. So that was quite an experience of running around fucking naked in a bathhouse. And then the second time I go with our friend Harry, who you'll meet. And Harry's like, just go in without me. I need a little bit of time to build up the confidence to come out. And I was like, great, bro. Because I don't really want to be checking you out. I don't really want you checking me out either. So I'll go in first. You do the walk of shame where everyone looks at you by yourself, including me, bro. You know, that's your business. So as I'm sitting there waiting for Harry, there's like this jet thing. First of all, I was like, what is this thing? So I turn it on and it's a jet to massage your butthole.
Yeah.
So it's like
my
a prostate massaging thing.
Nice.
Jeez.
So I first found this a little bit strange. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to another seat. So I go to another seat and then there's this huge commotion happening because there's this bed that you can sit on that there's a shower. There's this huge commotion going on. So I'm like, okay. So I'm just watching this thing unfold. There's about 5 or 6 grandpas, bro, all wrestling the fuck out of each other, fully naked, to get onto this fucking bath bed, man. So I'm sitting there like watching it, being like, what the fuck have you signed me up for, Harry? Like, I didn't come to this bathhouse for this, dude. You told me there was like a lot of cool stuff here, bro. All I've seen so far is a bunch of like naked men wrestling each other for this thing. So eventually Harry comes in and he's like, oh, I see you chose to sit next to the prostate massagers. I was like, dude, I have no idea where to sit. So this is a completely new experience for me. So then we started speaking and he's like, oh, why don't we try something new, bro? Why don't we go to the fucking coldest pool there? You know,
Take a nice cold plunge.
take a nice cold plunge.
Or the cold plunge.
So we can be like a part of the group, you know. Like, I'll let you guys imagination. Yeah, I'll let your imagination figure that part out. So we go into the cold plunge. And just as we're getting out the cold plunge as well, bro, we see these guys. So it's obviously a very normal thing. You take your son there from when they're a really young age and you get them used to seeing other penises and people and stuff. And there's a dad and his son and another dad and their son now wrestling over this table again. So it's just like, it's quite a weird experience.
What happens on the table? What's the
So
big
you
thing about
lie on the table, you just lie and there's this big like shower, like a pressure shower that sprays on you. But I guess it gets people like kind of excited.
So
I reckon.
I have to ask you because
Yeah.
I've been somewhere similar
Yeah.
recently with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So on the other side of this, is there like a relaxed
Is it
area?
called a-
Yeah.
Yeah, Aquila. Yeah, you went to
Aquila,
Aquila as well.
yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
It's not a bad place.
No, it's nice.
It's really cool, except
Yeah.
for the penises.
Yeah.
Everything else is really cool, dude. So, I mean, with this place, you walk through the bathhouse first. And the thing that also freaked me out is as you go into there, there's like guys that help you get changed. And because I'm white,
Yeah.
there was like 5 of them standing around me, and they're all just waiting for me to take off my pants, bro. They're all just standing around me like this, not looking at my eyes, just looking straight at my dick, bro. And I'm like, can I have
What do you
some...
mean they help to? Like, what do
They
they
just
do?
show you to your locker, and then when
And
you
then
get to
stare
your
at you.
locker, then they kind of just wait for you to see what you're gonna do. So once I took off all my clothes, they put it on the hangers for you, and they hang it up, and then they shoo you away.
Oh, they didn't do any of that shit for me. They showed me my locker and they walked away. They gave me my shit. I put it in. I walked away.
Yes, bro, they
They're
were
like, this is
so
a tall man. You want to see
This
what's
man knows what
happening.
he's doing. Yeah, they want to know
This
what's
is a
going
big
on.
boy.
Yeah.
dude, they were so hungry for me, bro. And then just as you were leaving, did they also come for the tip?
Yeah. They asked for the tip, and then they were like, "Oh, hold on," and they like helped to dress me as I was coming out.
Yeah. Well, when he first translated it,
How do they help you to dress?
they just give you your stuff and they offer to.
No. They made me sit down and they like put on my socks and then put on my shoes.
Oh, nice, but you got the luxury, dude. Because when
And they were like, "Oh, you're American, big boss, big boss."
yeah, big money, dude, big money.
Alban.
Full
They
service.
translated to me to say a tip. So instantly, with my dirty mind, I was like, "What do you mean the tip?
Just the tip.
Just the tip, you know?" And I was like, "I don't want to give you extra
This
tip.
is it for you next time. No fucking stare at me when I'm taking
Yeah,
my
give me
underwear off.
They're gonna stare at you. Unfortunately, you're white, bro. And that's not a race thing. it's just something new for them.
It's fascinating.
Curiosity.
It's fascinating,
Yeah.
bro. It's like when you go to the land of mandingos, bro. You're gonna want to check a mandingo, you know.
If you go to a topless
Each
beach,
their
you're gonna want to look at the
You're gonna want to
titties.
look, bro. And sometimes titties in different colors have different effects, you know. So they just wanted to see. I don't know if people in China are. Yeah, the movie recording has been stopped on the camera, bro.
Well, it's also time.
It is time now.
And on the curve.
Okay, so everybody got their drink.
Liquefied, bro.
So, are you back to culture shocks or what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty of culture shocks. Why don't you tell us your culture shock, Denise? Tell us something about this, because you know the Hawk tour here, they did plenty of stuff.
The
here.
spitting.
I can tell you the worst
So
for me.
gross.
Tell us.
The worst thing for me was, and this is something that most people don't realize, I think. The most intrusive thing in the world is smell.
Hmm.
You just cannot escape it.
On the
Because-
trains, man.
Everywhere. Dude, smell, I mean, even in your apartment. If there's an odor, it's going to fucking get in there.
Yeah, it
True.
literally comes through the extraction fan in the kitchen. So,
And
like,
people don't realize that literally just the air over here. The
Yeah.
first time you smell it, it's different. It's just the
True.
smell of durian hanging in the air, or gutter oil,
Mm,
or somebody cotching in the fucking hallway. You know,
pungent.
it's just a lingering smell
It's thick.
that's
bro.
offensive almost.
Yeah,
If you're not
it is.
used to it, it
The
is.
humidity
hella
like
offensive,
holds
it's
onto
thick,
it.
yeah, like the humidity clings onto every little smell molecule.
But
The
also,
smell from the extraction
China's a
fan.
hell of a lot better than Thailand. Thailand is
Oh,
just
Thailand was
like,
tough, yeah.
The water,
Yeah,
bro.
it was
It's the
tough.
water that stinks.
Yeah.
Over there was a
Stinks.
pervasive smell of poo poo.
yeah.
Yeah.
But our
Well,
first,
Thailand also has that rancid garbage smell when
Yeah.
in the summer when it gets hot and you're just like,
That hot bin bag.
it's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
concoction of like street food with dirty, stagnant water, with shit and
The one
sewage,
day,
and all of that.
the
Like
one day I told Catherine not to walk in the water, bro.
sweat.
Because I was like, there's something that stinks here, bro. And it's the water that's just been stagnant and staying there. I told her, like, don't stand in it, bro. And somehow I managed to fucking stand in it. And we're in the fucking hotel room, and Catherine's like, yo, something smells like shit, bro. Like, something really, really stinks, dude. And we're like looking around for the smells, bro. And eventually she finds the smell of the water stuck to my leg, bro. It was just the water here, but it literally smelled like shit.
Yo.
And it wasn't like a fucking shit, because I would have seen the brown stains, but it was literally just the water.
Did you
Yeah.
get the foot fungus?
It
I didn't get
smelled
the
like you
fungus.
stepped in shit.
Got the foot fungus at gym, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember we were walking around like our first few days in Vietnam, and we also stepped into a puddle and it splashed all up my leg, and I was like, that's coming home with us now.
It did. It did come home.
It
with
did. It's so bad. It took us a little while to figure out why. Like, why is the smell following us? Do not step in the water in Southeast Asia. Just don't do it. It's not a
Don't
good
do it.
idea.
But that's why the first thing I do when I get home is I take off my shoes because
Yeah.
you don't know what you step in or on.
Definitely bodily fluids of all
Yeah.
kinds. Vomit, spit, piss,
Horrible.
shit.
bodily fluids of all.
But now we're talking about the durian as well. I think for me, one of the things that really got me sick to my stomach was, again, I was working at a training center. And I helped one of the students with something. I can't remember what it was. And they were so thankful. They went to buy me ice cream.
Ooh, I know
Oh
what
no,
you're
I
gonna
know where this is
And-
going.
So I was in class and they put it on my desk. And when I got there, they came to me and they're like, "Oh, I got your ice cream." I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's so sweet, thank you." And they didn't say like what flavor it was or anything, and it's white. So I'm thinking it's like just plain vanilla ice cream, right? That first bite I took, it was just pure durian.
and it was a big scoop, right? You were just
Like it's vanilla ice cream. I'm chuffed to bits. It's a long day.
It's
I
hot.
get a nice treat. It's like hot, so this ice cream is like really welcome. Jeez, that durian smell just
Oh my God.
hits everywhere. It's like gets stuck in your sinuses or something. You cannot get rid of that taste.
To
smells
this,
like cat piss
yeah,
to me.
like to
Dude,
this
it's sweet for
day,
me.
I've never
What?
forgotten.
The durian smell is like a sweet smell for me.
It smells
No.
like
Yeah,
no,
it
no,
smells
no, no,
overly
no.
sweet for me as well.
Yeah,
but-
everyone I met's got like either the way that we smell it or the way that you smell it. Everyone's like, this is a horrible smell. I'm like, it's sweet.
Horrible.
It's
No,
like
but-
sickeningly sweet. That's how I smell
Yeah,
it.
it's not like it's not as bad. Everyone's like, oh, it smells like cat pee. I've heard that a lot. It smells like a foot. It smells like
Dude,
sweet.
but that durian ice cream that
really
you
sweet.
had
Yeah,
tasted
condensed.
like a foot.
Maybe we're like predisposed to enjoy durian. We don't know it.
No, I've tried
Maybe
durian. I
that's
don't
some
like the
Asian
taste.
genes.
I don't like the taste of durian, but the smell doesn't put me off.
They like durian on a pizza. Durian
yeah,
and
they-
ice
On a pizza, it's not
cream.
too bad actually, but it's kind of like
That ice cream that you had, the durian ice cream,
Yeah, that
was
was-
one of the
that was-
most
that was
offensive
nasty.
things I've ever eaten in my life. I will never forget how revolting.
It's horrible.
So for Chinese food, have you ever had like any of the other like out there? Have you had toilet noodles?
Ew.
I've smelled it.
No, you could definitely smell it. Have you had? Yeah, so toilet noodles. Well, those are noodles in a toilet, but toilet
Semantics,
noodles
brother.
are kind
semantics.
of like smelly tofu, where they age the noodles.
Yeah, I know
And
they're
so
stinky
Yeah,
noodles.
they're stinky noodles. They're really like they have this really big like.
they put it in like a bacteria. I think that's how they get. I know
Yeah,
that's
it's the
how they
same
make
way
the
they
black
get that.
tofu.
It's how they get the black tofu. Yeah, it's the same kind of process for the noodles.
I mean,
Even the stinky tofu is a no-no for me because
Oh, look at that.
again at the training center we had like a staff kitchen that was kind of like at the back of the training center, and one day all of the foreign teachers were sitting there during lunch, and like I could see the expression on everybody's face change to that look of disgust. And I knew why, because the whole place smelled like a
Shit.
baby diaper. But not just a normal baby diaper. It's like, you know, when babies start getting teeth and they're actually eating solids, the smell of the diaper just
changes from like a yellow poo to a
Yeah,
stanky
it's
human
just-
poo. Bro.
It's nasty. So the whole
Yeah.
place smelled like that. And we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And then two of us went to the kitchen to go and have lunch. And that smell was just hanging in the kitchen. And then we opened the microwave and somebody's stinky tofu was just steaming away in the microwave.
Like
And
a
it-
turd.
It
Gross.
immediately put me off my lunch. Like I didn't want to
You should just try a bit though. It's like becomes an acquired taste. Bro.
Mm.
Stinky tofu isn't that awful. Like you can have it in bits.
No.
It's the smell that really gets you. The
But-
taste is not.
But that's one of
worst.
those things. That is definitely 100% of food that should. It's like fish. If you put that in a microwave, you are committing a war crime.
Yeah, I agree
Like-
with you though.
It's
There's
you're
certain
gonna
things you don't
ruin
microwave
that.
in public.
Mm.
Bro.
Yeah. You
That's
should
one of
microwave it in private, mate. Like,
Yeah.
You
I'm
should
sorry.
microwave it. Yeah,
You eat that fresh or you don't eat it.
fair enough.
Because even when you're saying, I'm saying fresh, it's not fresh.
Yeah, and it's like 3
So-
weeks old, bro,
Yeah.
in a bacteria.
Mm-mm.
You know what
There's no
also
way-
had a
microwaving
really
is going to do exactly the opposite effect of what you want it to do.
It's gonna make it smell much better.
Yeah.
what also had a really bad smell was that the soup with pig's blood. And-
Big blood soup.
I remember you guys were eating
as
it.
well. It's very popular.
I wasn't eating it. I came like home.
with Eric. Yeah,
I don't. I thought it was with Wade, and I was like, "Is that me?" Like, because I just smell iron and blood,
Mm.
and I was like,
I've smelled that on the subway.
"Should I
but
go
that's a
and
period, bro.
check
That's a
myself?"
Yeah.
And then eventually they were like, "Yeah, no, we're eating pig's blood soup," and I was like, "Oh
Yummy.
my god! Please don't ever bring that into our house ever again."
Yeah, the time that there's only two people that did. Wade did this. Shout out Wade, what a beast. But Eric was the other oak who he would literally just get a bowl of blood,
Oh,
like fresh
yeah.
blood.
And here they also
What a
love
Satan.
duck blood
He loved
soup.
it, bro. He frothed for it, bro.
So what foods do you guys have like in China that you've tried for the first time in China that you really enjoy though?
Cricket on a stick.
Really?
Dude, it's not bad. It's nice, bro.
Not bad, but like food that you never had before that like, you had in China and now you're like, wow, actually I'm surprised I ever had this. It's really good.
Chunfin.
Cricket on a stick. Oh, chumfin's also
Chongfin's
good.
good, yeah.
Cricket, you guys, I promise you, we're like, you'll be surprised how often you probably have eaten cricket before because it's
Yeah,
a
I
good source
know,
of
but-
protein.
I don't care.
But it's not. It doesn't have like you would expect it to have a flavor, but it doesn't. It's just like a crispy cumin. Like everything here tastes like cumin. So
Let me tell you one thing. I'll much rather eat that than pig's brain. Much
I agree.
rather. It's not in the same league for me. Like that's a little tasty morsel.
But there's my freaky. I will never touch a stick insect. Fuck that, dude.
You scared of them?
I do not.
I
They
like
freak
them.
me out.
I befriend them.
Have you seen how big they get, dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get
Do
you.
you
They're
carry them
freaking
around
out.
in your hand?
Yeah,
And the
nothing.
teacher tells you to.
Yeah, like
freak me out.
the Changlang boy.
No, the stick insects are
Call back, you know.
freak over.
Yeah. That boy
Comedic
is
relief.
cockroach.
Chanfen's really good. What else is really good here in China, man?
Have you ever had the like Xinjiang style noodles?
Is it a spicy noodle?
Not really. There is some spice to it, but it's kind of like so. Xinjiang obviously is up to the north of China, and it's like very like there are a lot of Muslims there, but they make the noodles fresh. Like even the places here in Shenzhen, much farther south, they always make the noodles fresh, so they're like fresh and chewy, which is really good.
Mm.
And they
Is it
do
the
like
white
beef
noodle
and
or-
lamb with them. Yeah, it's like a white noodle.
The rice noodle, yeah.
No, that's Chongfen. No,
How do you spell it?
show XIN.
Oh, X.
G or G JIANG and then noodles. There you go.
I mean,
First
I've
name
eaten a lot of
Xinjiang
noodles here, but it's all pretty much the same, to be honest, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
for me, a noodle is a noodle.
It's a noodle that comes in a very similar
No,
broth.
there's a big difference between a fresh.
No,
For sure,
yeah.
for
So
sure.
you want that second picture there, but the thing is, like, they're freshly made. They're not pre-packaged.
Yeah,
they're
but-
not like.
I'm
I
talking
bought
about
that.
like
I bought that over here in Shenzhen. I bought that in a plastic bag and then I cooked it. Like it comes with it's got like a flour coating around it. Do you remember the one time I bought it in a big plastic bag? I ordered
Yeah.
fresh noodles and I cooked it. It was good. It just tastes like pasta, but a little bit more chewy.
Yeah. It's got that
Dense.
bit of chewiness
It's
to it.
dense.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
It was like thick,
No, I like that.
almost like a thick
Yeah.
spaghetti.
Yeah. That's pretty
But
much.
have it.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I
of
quite
things
enjoy
here that
that.
taste.
I made
like in
bolognese
China.
with it. To
And
be
they
fair.
have that Turkish bread that comes with it.
I like
Which is
the
really
Turkish
nice as well. Yeah.
But a lot of the things here in China, and to be honest, just to me in particular, it's either spicy where it numbs your mouth. It either tastes like coriander because it's been grilled.
or cinnamon
kinda
because
like
of the
that.
five spice.
That was the other one, or cinnamon.
Left of that. No, that's a good one. Yeah.
The Turkish bread is good.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Bing.
Dude, what you gotta
We
do is you
ordered
gotta
it.
get meat on a stick, you slap it in between, you pull the meat off.
It's
and you char
it's
like
you know what it's just
The-
one of
the
those
barbecue
breads.
here
It's
is good
too
as well, the
dense
street
for me.
barbecue.
The Turkish
It
bread.
is,
It's
it
dense
is
and dry.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the minute I bite it, all the saliva in my mouth just rushes
Yeah.
towards that bread.
I feel you.
I get that fucking.
I do
cotton
like
mouth.
that feeling though.
Very dry to me. Maybe I just had the wrong one.
And it's also
the
too
ones we
thick.
ordered
bro.
the other night.
But you get these ones as well where they're like this, but they're like hollow on the inside. Those ones are much better.
I'm a naan guy.
Naan for naan to naan, huh?
I'm a naan guy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And a roti guy.
I
haven't
like
had a
rotis,
in
but-
so long.
I'm not gonna lie, I like a Woolworths roti, bro. They were good.
Oh, I just
Do you know
miss
Woolies?
Woolies in general.
Yo,
Yo,
I miss
Woolies is a
Woolies.
thing.
Shout out Woolies.
Shout out Woolies SA, not the Woolies in the UK.
Yo's
I
got
think I miss
money.
Woolies
It's
more.
not about money, bro. We did it as adults, bro. And you go in there, you just buy a roti, bro, and you just charge.
I was a ShopRite adult me.
Bro, what are you talking about? We
ShopRite.
also ShopRite and Checkers
Yeah.
and Pick and Pay. But sometimes you gotta do. Sometimes
See, we
you
do
gotta
have
do.
ShopRites in the U.S.
Yeah, ShopRite's
You
a gangster
Yeah.
thing, dude.
Like in South
Yeah, it's the
Africa,
same one.
ShopRite for us is like really cheap.
Well,
Yeah,
it used
yeah,
to be.
that's-
Nowadays, not
But
anymore.
nowadays,
See,
nothing is
ShopRite's
cheap.
also like your skin type of shop as well. Like they don't
Yeah.
have juice, they have Tampico.
Yeah, no name brands as
Yeah.
well, you know.
No name.
For us, a no name just means that they make it themselves.
Yeah,
their
we used to
brand.
have like house brand.
So like
Checkers
Woolworths
house
used to
brand.
be the most expensive place, but the last time we went back, Pick and Pay, Checkers, they were all the same
And
bars.
Spar.
Those bars
Spar
were top
just
ones.
imports
Yeah.
everything now
But
from
it's
Australia.
good. I
Their
love
biltong
Spar.
is
That's
good.
probably my favorite.
Me too. Their rotisserie
That's
chicken.
Their
as well.
expensive.
baked goods
Yeah.
are so
Oh.
yummy.
Custard slices. Spar's custard slices.
Martin,
See,
you
we
gotta
have
stop
something
drinking
that would be-
stuff, bro.
Huh?
We have Country
Stuff's
Market
safe,
is ours.
bro. Country Market.
Country Market.
Country boy.
Yeah. Unless you want to drive to Arthur and go to the Amish
I'll go to the Amish, bro.
I would love
I'll
to.
go to the
I would
Amish.
The
love to go
Amish
to
make some
Amish.
excellent baked goods, but
Okay.
it's all like from scratch, so you're
Yeah.
paying a bit of a premium. You also get to
They
experience
deserve it.
the loveliness of Amish culture. You get to see them all in their traditional dress and horse poop everywhere.
That's fine, bro. They're living
That
life to
sounds
the
like
fullest,
a
bro.
farm shop in South Africa, or like
Yeah.
a farmer's market
Oh,
kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about something? I'm looking at that. I'm
You can just
thinking
look up
Mug and Bean.
Arthur,
bro.
Illinois.
Mug and Bean. Did you ever go to Mug and Bean?
Constantly.
Yes, their muffins, those
Oh.
big ass muffins.
Mug and Bean. It's just anything.
There
Look,
you go.
they're really expensive.
Yeah, that's Arthur
like
right
Mug
there.
and Bean, bro.
It's a full Amish town
Wow.
This is where Ray originates, guys.
No,
I'm
no,
joking,
no,
I'm joking, I'm
no.
joking.
from about an hour away.
Oh, so you're close to this.
You're basically from Arthur, bro.
No,
I'm not Amish.
You're basically.
No.
You
You're from
escaped.
Springfield, hey?
I'm from outside of Springfield.
Really?
You know?
Springfield,
They're with the
Illinois.
Simpsons. bro.
Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, you are from Illinois. So there isn't a Memphis in Illinois.
There is a Memphis. There's a Cairo, Illinois as well.
There's a what?
A Cairo,
Cairo?
Cairo,
Like
like
an
Cairo,
Egyptian?
Egypt. But
Okay.
they do have a King Tut's gas station there with
Oh,
a
nice.
nice little cafe. Yeah.
Well,
Share this one with me, bro.
Next to the Chain of Rocks Bridge, you can look that one
It
up as
looks
well.
so brown.
Yeah.
Share this one with me.
Just some
Because
What?
Agatol's going to give me some,
random
something
Illinois
interesting.
shitholes for you.
What do you want me to look up?
It's the Chain of Rocks Bridge is right by there. It links Illinois to Missouri, I believe.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day you must take us to your homeland, Ray. But we
There's
gotta,
not shit to see,
it's
mate.
fine. We'll take you to ours first. You can take us.
take us to your homeland.
There's a lot, yeah, it's a really old, shitty bridge that like only one car can.
I want to
like,
see you
use
take
at a
off your
time.
shirts and dance around the bonfire.
That's not what I do. But,
We can do that in SA as well.
Reminds me of Long Bean. Yeah.
What was that song you were just singing? What?
No, I just made it up.
Oh, okay, good. It was a goodie though. But whatever. Yeah. So anything else that you guys have experienced that's been a bit of a culture shock?
Oh, so many things.
Too many to even recall. Like, just on a daily basis, there's something that happens or something you see. It's just you get flabbergasted
For sure.
by stuff. Like last night when we took his mom and his brother to the airport, we were coming back and we were waiting for a taxi outside of the airport. And then all of a sudden we see this
Talking about the guy with the flake skate.
yeah. So we see this guy with like his tracksuits and, you know, all dressed up in activewear.
Ready
And then
to two-step.
you kind of look up and you just see this horrible comb over and he's got this thinning hair and then it's got the little ponytail at the back and, you know, all of that.
What a thug, dude.
And then he's on the phone, but he's shouting at somebody. And then all of a sudden, this guy comes walking from the other side, and I assume it was his passenger.
Mhm.
And as he's
Looking at
sees
him,
the guy coming,
he's still shouting at
looking
him
at
on the phone.
yeah, he's still on the phone shouting at this guy, but they're like right next to each other, and we're just looking at this like, what's happening? Because
To be fair, that for me is not culture shock. I've
it's
seen
a
that in my
culture
family.
shock, but I mean,
But
it's
the shouting is a thing, yeah.
it's things
Yeah.
like that happen every
For
day.
sure.
That
Yeah, they really
it's
don't
just-
have volume
It kind of
control
becomes
here. It's not a
normal
real
at a
thing.
point.
It
Like,
does, it
it
does.
just kind of fades into the background.
I guess you guys would be like cats and I. One of the biggest culture shocks is trains.
Yeah.
Train life. Because you have trains where you're from. in
No,
England.
not really.
Not really.
No.
Oh
So you
my
must
God.
also experience it like massive
Crowded.
people on a train. You
Yeah.
get to see some shit on a train.
Yeah.
You see a lot of dandruff. That's
Yeah.
the first thing I
Oh.
noticed
You
when I got
smell dandruff. I never even knew
Yeah.
dandruff had a smell.
Neither did I, but you that's when I first realized like general population is very different because in SA we're all hidden behind walls, so we never get to see the general population. But damn, bro, I was like, what is going on? I mean, you guys have even had experiences of people pushing Denise out the way to get out of trains. You know, it's just like sardines in a
It's in.
tin.
It's awful.
And one stop will be so full, the next stop it will be empty. This for me was one of the biggest culture shocks.
Yeah, but you're
It's
lucky
so
because you have the height
Yeah.
advantage.
Your head is
So
above
your
everyone.
nose isn't directly in someone's armpit or in
But I
someone's
see
ear.
everything, bro.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
nice.
You don't have to smell it.
You can breathe above the
I
crowd.
smell it, bro. I see the dandruff from a different angle, from the top view, bro.
Because like some of these people, especially the men, and like I love living in China. It's great. And the subway is super convenient.
Of course, it was great, yeah.
Some of the men, for example, they've had a long day.
They smell
The
bad,
sun,
right?
it's hot. It's
Yeah,
humid.
construction.
Then they
roads,
raise their arms.
Yeah,
and hold
yeah,
onto
I
the
smell
little
that too,
handle,
bro.
and my nose is literally right there in their
Yeah,
armpits
fair
because
enough,
I've
yeah.
got nowhere to go.
And they don't wear deodorant.
To be
Don't
fair,
wear
They do, yeah, but yeah, that's
to be
fair.
fair, you do get the hard day's work smell 6 o'clock in the
Oh.
morning.
No, you do.
So-
That's
And the
actually.
garlic.
To be fair, I smell that more 6 o'clock in the
Yeah.
morning than I do in the.
They start off that way and
Yeah.
they end up better. But you know what's the thing about all of this? Like, we've been talking about culture shock the whole time. I've gotten to the point where I'm completely desensitized.
Yeah, me
to it.
too. Bro.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't phase me.
Doesn't
at
bother
all
me. I'm
anymore.
just used to it.
Not at all. Like it goes unnoticed for the biggest part of it.
Yeah. Now only like really weird shit sticks
Yeah.
out. Where you're like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. When you're like, this isn't normal here either.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Which
Like-
it still happens quite often.
The hooting as well.
That
Because-
is annoying.
In our country, if people hoot at you, people
It's
get
offensive, yeah.
angry.
That's
It's
what I'm-
offensive. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why are you hooting at
Yeah.
me?
It's like an
But
aggressive.
here, my
Yeah.
God.
Over here, it's
I'm
just
doing it now.
another thing.
People here are actually very chill drivers. I would get really
They're
pissed off.
horrible drivers.
They're horrible drivers for sure, but they're not aggressive drivers, which
Yeah.
is what you sound like you're also used to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate. Like driving in Chicago, if you're not an aggressive driver,
you
you're
told
fucking
me.
Yeah.
going nowhere.
Joburg
Whereas
is
we're
aggressive.
Back where you're from.
Aggression and driving is a thing, bro. We've
Yeah.
all had that parent who's just screaming their head off in the car, and you're just like,
I've been
Liv
there.
was literally like talking to me about it the other day. She's like, I wish your dad was here to just flip people off.
Yeah.
It's like that, love my dad, but he does, like, he has some road rage.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
She's
so aggressive.
That's why it's a good thing for me not to drive in China because I would get arrested or
I would also get so pissed off. Yeah.
But
Like,
even with a scooter, it's
yeah. Oh my
touch and
God.
go sometimes.
She gets to that point on the road where she's just cucking out everybody.
fuck this guy, fuck that.
Like even if they're
you
not
just have
doing
your
anything.
indicator on too
Yeah.
long.
She's like, why are you?
Yeah, I had to
What an
stop
idiot.
riding bicycle back from the subway just because I would get so
I would
pissed
get
off with
road rage
people.
on a bicycle.
Yeah,
Insane.
because
But
there's
people
no
are stupid.
there's no consideration, there's no courtesy in the same way as like Western
That's the only
countries.
thing.
It's not really a thing to
Yeah.
stop and let you go first.
So just remember, like, if you've got wheels and a person's walking, like, realistically, you should wait for them.
Yeah,
Like, even though you don't want to,
you should.
but you should. Because if you were the person walking and some guy on a bicycle was interfering with your walking, you'd be like, oh, bro, but you can accelerate faster than me, you can do all these things. It's like, but
Fair
pedestrians always, so
Fair
like,
enough.
even when you're driving, you have to kind of keep that in mind to be like, he's not really caring because he does have the right of way.
Yeah, and to add to that, you know what's the flip side to what Kat just said? There's no real courtesy over here, as there is in a Western country. That is true. It's a completely different.
It is a different word.
But the flip side to that is, in a Western country, if you just cut somebody off,
Yeah,
it's game on.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Where
right.
over here, it's okay.
It's just normal.
Because it's the next guy's gonna do it to you. So over
Yeah.
here, it's like,
It's not
okay, well, it's okay to be like that
Yeah.
because everybody's like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get to that mood where it's like, well, I just got to get there first.
Yeah, that is the. It's a race to get
Yeah,
there first. It is.
And also, like,
But you gotta follow the speed limit to get there first. So.
Yeah.
So
do you mean
you're
speed
staring
limit?
somebody down, basically.
But that is definitely a culture shock because for us, it comes across as rude. Because we've just been raised
At
to think
first, at
like,
least.
at first, we've just been raised to think like, wow, that's so rude. You should let someone go first. But it's not rude for them because
Not
that's
at
just
all.
not something that their culture does. So that's definitely something you have to adjust to because,
Then, hey,
yeah.
What were you
only
gonna say? Dave?
problem with
Definitely.
like cycling or scooters or anything besides walking, I will definitely give a person the chance to go first if they are walking. But if you are just walking with your face glued to your phone and not paying attention to what is going on around you,
get fucked.
Yes, which is
Gotta
most
visit
of the
them.
time.
I'm plowing you down with my scooter.
I'm hooting, I'm shouting at you, I'm cussing, I'm the whole 9 yards because what is so important on your phone that you can't leave it for 5
You're literally in
minutes
one of
until
the
you
most
reach your
populated
destination?
countries in the world, and you're not paying attention.
I mean, also, there's the fact of this, like, not to sound like an old person here, but I think the phone screen looking is intense. Like
it is intense.
Like you'll see people like a couple at a fancy restaurant, assuming they're having a romantic dinner, and they're just
On the
both
phone.
on their phones the
They're
whole
not living in
time.
the present.
And it's like you're here with, I'm assuming, your significant other at a nice restaurant having a good meal, and you're both just looking at
It's a
your phone.
complete psychological effect, bro. I can tell you now, like these 6 weeks of me being at home, or 8 weeks now with this injury, I can feel how much more addictive I am to the screen.
Yeah, for
And it
sure.
grows on you quick, bro.
Serotonin boost or whatever.
It's a dopamine addiction. Yeah, it's in the
It's that
dopamine
rush,
addiction.
but
Even on the
still,
beach.
if you're out walking, pay attention to what you're doing.
I agree with you. There should, but like, if Kat looks up, there's some weird places in China where there are walkways where people can walk with their phone,
Yeah.
and people can walk without their phone. So there's walkways where it's just not here in Shenzhen, but it's somewhere up north. Where I've seen that there's literally like things on the road that say
We are
no
prohibited.
walking on your phone, and then there are places where it says walking on your phone.
That's amazing.
Like there's
Do that
ones
here.
that this
Oh,
I understand is like a really effective system. Like phones, no phones.
Clever.
That would work here, and it would help a lot because there's a lot of people driving scooters here.
Like today, I
That is
nearly
China.
killed a high school girl because she wasn't paying attention.
Got a hoot, dude.
Well, I wouldn't say
did.
killed.
Beep.
Yeah, I mean, not literally, but
Maimed.
I had to choose between hitting the high school girl with the scooter or crashing into a mom and a baby. So what do you do?
Which one did you choose?
The high school kid.
Fair enough.
Why do I want to hurt the baby?
That's a psychological
No,
thing.
I thought that's what I was asking, bro. It's like the test with the train, bro.
Yeah.
Where there's 5 people in one. I wanted to know which
She's
one she
the high
was.
school girl, the one that's
Oh,
not
she's
paying
a
attention.
textbook psychotic.
Yeah, it's the classic. You're driving down the road and you see an old man and a mom and a baby. Which one do you hit?
If it were me and Duncan, we'd
Or
be
sorry,
like,
no,
I'd
which one do you-
skid on the road. I'd kill myself.
Yeah,
She's like, I'm gonna
I'll
fucking
road
take that
rash,
high school girl out.
Sorry, I worded that incorrectly. It's what do you hit?
What do you? There we
What
go.
do you hit?
The old man.
The floor, bro.
No.
You hit
The problem
It's
is
the brakes.
the brakes.
That's a good one.
But
I
anyway,
saw there
so,
was a good video of that. I
so the
saw
high
it.
school kid was just like walking and playing with the toy and not paying attention to what she's doing. So she's walking towards me. The mom is carrying the baby in one of those little kangaroo pouch things
Mhm.
and walking with her husband. So there's not really a lot of gap to go around anybody.
The husband's
And
a
the
free
more
target. bro.
I go to that side to try and get around the high school girl, the more
Mm.
she's literally just walking in front of me like a sheep.
Yeah, look, I
And
mean,
I'm
those
on the
situations
hooter
are a bit
hooting,
rough.
and she's just like, whoop.
But they've also become accustomed to ignoring hooting because it's such a common
Yeah.
thing. They really have. Like, I've sat behind someone just hooting at them.
Desensitization, man.
Yeah.
Just not giving a fuck. But I do understand your frustration. Trust me, I also get frustrated. But
I yelled at a gentleman Tuesday.
you yelled at somebody.
Yeah,
I've never even seen you get angry.
I did yell at somebody.
Was it the guy in the class that kept
No, you
bullying
didn't go with me on the scooter. You took
Or
the
did you?
Didi, and I was alone on the
Good
scooter,
choice.
and I barely had any sleep. And I woke up the next morning, and it was just over here. There was somebody on one of these Alipay bikes, standing in the middle of the road like this, and I started honking, and I took it slow. Like I actually slagged down, started honking my horn, it just didn't move. And I honked and I honked and I honked for what felt like an eternity. Probably was like 10 seconds,
Yeah.
which is a long time.
It's a long
for him to
time,
move.
dude. It's a long time.
And when I got to him, I just said, "What do I use?" I said, "Oi!" And then I said, "Move!"
Did he
And they
move?
just looked at me. Like,
What language are you speaking?
and I just went around him at the end of the day. I was like,
Yeah. That happens.
just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, they just don't. I mean,
It's rough sometimes.
it is rough sometimes, but
Like most of the time you can cope with it, but then you just have that one off day where everything just gets on your nerves.
and you're
Well,
tired.
mine was
And you're
yesterday.
just tired and
It just felt like everybody was looking for cuck with me yesterday.
Really.
Yeah,
yeah,
literally.
but even when we came
Should've
home
told me.
yesterday on the scooter, it just felt like everybody was driving even more shitty than usual
Mm.
and taking their time.
Yeah, yesterday was not a good
and
day. It wasn't a
it
good day.
just felt like
They're also instigating you guys. Huh?
oh,
I mean, that's just like when you have that like stress build up, lack of sleep. That's when you
Mm.
feel like every little thing that's just a normal
just
thing you
sets
deal
you
with. It just it's it's like, why is this happening today? It's like, it
You're
happens
gonna have
every
that
day, but you
emotional
don't have that.
intelligence to realize that this is actually your issue, not
Yeah.
everybody around yours issue.
Yeah, and it's rough.
But just remember, it's easier. I mean, it's just natural. It's easier to take it out on others.
Yeah, and then
Pat,
one silly
the
example
back screen.
is like I ordered potatoes.
Camera.
I ordered potatoes for us, or like for me to make like baked potatoes with salmon.
Mm.
And when the potatoes arrived, they sent me like 2 massive potatoes and 1 small one.
Oh yeah, of course. It's about weight. Yeah.
What the hell am I gonna do with this? How am I gonna cook for a family of 5 people with 2 big potatoes
And one small
and
one.
1 small one? Like really?
You want a half a baked potato?
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it's just those small things that
Yeah.
just kind of gets on your
But you know, to be
Yeah.
fair, like I think if they were, if a Chinese person were to go to any of our respective countries, they
Yeah.
would be fucking irritated
They would,
by
of course.
these same kind of things.
Of course. That's
Imagine
Because
seeing
it's so opposed to their culture.
Yeah. It's just
Imagine them
different.
seeing a beggar at a robot.
A what?
A beggar at a robot.
Just the
Yeah.
mere fact that you called it a robot would probably irritate them.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I had no idea what he was talking about.
At
He's
the
like, oh,
traffic light.
we're away. I'm away. I'm about 2 robots away, and I'm like, he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm at the second robot, and I'm like, what? Because he's like, yeah, I'm by the mall. I'm by the second robot. I'm like, what robot? I've never seen a robot there. I have no idea.
That's what we call traffic lights.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I've learned
Yeah, I
this
know
since that. Now I know. But originally, I'm just like, what do you mean?
Don't
We get
people
robots
use
by
double
robots, bro. We get robots by robots. Yeah, I mean the traffic lights. That's a big culture shock for people, bro. By the way, the cards are full, Oaks. We're gonna call it here at
And
this.
our time is also up, so that was it for
Been a
today.
pleasure. 4th episode done.
Looking forward to the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bye.
Peace out.
Leaning on a Friday, it's a friendship. You gotta crack another can and do a backflip. Trip as I'm sipping, get a good grip. We're talking life, strife, and think about the good times. When you fall from home, it can be non-stop. Or crack another can and let the bumping beat drop. At the Great Wall of China or a bus stop, grab a can, curb, and think about the good times.